Hello, welcome back to the Research Cat. Today we are going to work on the nightmare that is this base. We have three problems. We have stress, which is slowly starting to fall. We have a lack of water here, and we have the biggest problem, which is our air, which is just beyond pathetic. So, the first thing I'm going to try to do is I decided to try to drop the floor out of the base some and see if that manages to give me some place for this carbon dioxide to go. It's not the ideal solution, but at this moment we'll take pretty much anything to try to survive. So we'll do that first. And actually we'll probably end up using this down here. So it's not a terrible thing. I was talking to someone and they were asking about how many education games there are, and I said, well, there's quite a few, particularly if you count games that aren't billed as education, like this game is not billed as an education game. But it has quite a bit of educational properties. For instance, what I've learned in this video series is that you need air to breathe. That's the kind of keen insights that we want to be sure our instructors have. I think I'll take the smelter and see. We do have, I mean, this is pulling out the carbon dioxide. It's just there's so much of it that I don't know how much it's going to work. We need to get this water done, and that's a power problem. So let's see what we can do about power. Materials, plumbing, ventilation. There's power. Oh, I cut the wire. Well, that might be part of the problem. Okay. Let me come from this one here. We'll delete this one here, and we'll deconstruct this extra wire we don't need. And then we'll put a priority on this and see if they can get this done. Oh, and I'll need to put a wire bridge across. Making them wade in polluted water just put up my stress a little bit higher again. Thank you. Also be nice if they cleaned up the dead body at some point. And on my plumbing map, we do have some going, but not enough. But we got this now started. All we needed is the power. I kind of lost track of what was going on. Okay, well. And I think these, I forgot to look, I think these are working too, right? No, there's some sort of a basic problem there. We're missing a bridge. I must have started some of this and then gotten confused. In to out. And this is an intake pipe from polluted water, right? From here? Yeah. What? Maybe I should check that circuit. Well, that looks okay. The whole circuit's not powered. Oh, because I didn't get this built. Well, great. Can we build this? They should be happy to build up at the top. There's actually some oxygen up there. And then once I get this thing here built, we'll see our stress go down with any luck. They're sleeping on the job while the base is filling with carbon dioxide. Great. And unfortunately, getting this power up, which will help in some areas, is going to produce even more carbon dioxide. It's kind of a... Oh, this is really good. And we don't have a narcoleptic, so I'll take that. And I'm going to put under this a... Should I have a food tile? There we go. Once they dig this out, I'll put the wort there. It will kind of cool down this area. Oh, but the salt is going to collapse. That can absolutely happen in a game. So before I do that, let's put that. So now I got to kind of get them to catch up on the builds. Okay, so we're pumping some oxygen back down into here. It's not really looking any better. We're trying to clean up the carbon dioxide. Trying to get our power up. So I'm just going to kind of let them run there with their build. Try to get everything done. Well, put a nice plant in there. See, these are the good bedrooms up here because they actually have oxygen. I got a nice water source here. I got a nice water source over here that is actually filling up. So I'd like to be using this one. And actually we're going to lock this one. Our stress is starting to fall, which is good. Of course, when I make them come down here to do this, it's going to rise again. Did I not set these up correctly? Let's see, they come from here. They come down. Oh, because I don't have any sand right now. Yeah, we should have sand. Come over here and do this. I need to get somebody on operating is probably my issue. Let's see, operating is here. Well, does everybody have a job? Nails doesn't. Nails, start operating. Rowan doesn't have a job either. And we have more than enough food. So let's put him on sweeping, starting to clean up the base. Oh, I should put somebody on digging too. I need more duplicants somehow. Alright, let's have Mary do digging. As the bases become more complicated, setting the priorities becomes a little bit more of a challenge. Let's see, Mary, I need you on, no, not storing. I need you on digging. Okay, we'll see if this hat works. Alright, stress just went back up again. Well, that's not good. Hmm. Wow. Well, not great. Well, on my educational games, there's a pair of math games that are essentially order of operations. Um, and there's a. Uh, I had talked about a. I'm trying to think and talk at the same time. Apparently, not going so well. There's a. Say, this is why right here she got trapped because when I cut this away for the pipes, they can't cross that. They need a. We're going to put this here and that'll hide the dead body. I talked about shooter games, but not everybody necessarily likes to play the shooter games. I personally am not. Uh, there's a couple of shooter games that I'm okay with, EDF for instance. But for the most part, I don't really enjoy shooter games. I don't mind watching people play them, but I don't. I'm just not that interested. I run them as a background. But there is Subnautica, and Subnautica has the interface of a shooter game, and yet is not really violent. Now, it is sometimes frightening, but not violent. And it's only frightening because I don't know. I guess I get too immersive in the game, and I'm like, I don't want to go out and get eaten. But there is certainly games like that. We might do a little bit of Subnautica. There's a book by Squire that talks about using educational games, and one of his pieces of the educational games is in Civilizations. His book, I believe, mentions Civilization 4, but I'm playing Civilization 6. You can do a small game, kind of introduce what Civilizations is like. There's quite a few games that are commercial games that can still be useful for teaching educational versions of things. And then one thing to understand is that the more you just being able to manipulate the mouse and able to do small tasks on the computer, that's a benefit also. So there is a few things that can be done that just playing any games will be helpful on that. And then there's the social games, which are the multiplayer games. I don't play as many of those, but if the people are interested in them, I'll figure it out and con one of my friends into deciding to play that as well. I have oxygen all the way up here, really? Well, the good news is I got enough of this carbon dioxide out that at least one of my oxygen things is starting to work. But this one over here is a problem. So maybe what I need to do is on this, I'm going to turn it off so that it stops sucking oxygen up out of this space. The oxygen should just naturally rise up. So let's just close that for the moment. Really? I don't have enough dirt. Well, here. Have some dirt. It's not one problem, it's another. This is dirt as well. What's our temperature like here? In my panicked trying to save the base, I haven't been paying as much attention to the temperature. That could come back and bite me. And how's our water that we're doing here? That's filling up here. And this is starting to fill up, which is good. Huh. Okay, well. That's snow. Probably can start working on melting a few things. So let's put a thing here, and once that's built, we can put snow and ice that is fresh ice and snow in this, and then it will eventually melt in my theory and then come down into this. Or if it doesn't, I can just undo it from here. I'd really like to get the stress down too. So I'll have to put some artwork up. I was hoping that they would build this, which they don't really seem to be doing. And see, this is working. We're slowly starting to get some oxygen here. So let me put some artwork up. Put something there. We do have an ice block. Where's our temperature? That's chilly. Oh, here we go. We have a chilly thing here. We can put a nice ice block there. We'll dig a little more of this out. We can put a little artwork here. And all of these places. Oh good, we've got somebody starting to work on here. I turned their original mess hall into a polluted water tank, which probably didn't help the stress out any. No narcoleptics, so we'll take good food. 8 people is probably enough while we're working on cleaning up the base over here. And actually, let's put this over here for algae. And we can stick another another art thing here. Maybe they can get a little more morale bonuses there. Also, if we clean up the floor, we'll get less problems. And then once we get sand, we can get this thing going. There's a map, Oasis, I think, that is just like filled with sand. There is so much sand, I had a couple of these things running and I was still just getting backed up by sand. And then I guess up here, this is pretty cold up here. Well, except for that thing there. So let me dig some of this up and we'll make this into some manufacturing, because I don't have to get the power. I can get the power right from there. And so I'm thinking we have a metal refinery. We have metal tile. Oh, I wonder if I now have enough. See, there was over here, I was looking. This is aluminum ore. I wonder if that is enough to make my, oh, it is, to make the smart batteries. Well, in that case, let's deconstruct that battery. And let's put up, I need somebody to come up and deconstruct that one, and we'll put a smart battery in place. We'll get them another skill. This is Turner. He's got exosuit. We'll do a construction. I really got to get that stress down. It's now a competition of the oxygen is slowly getting better. I mean, it's still ugly. It's it's still potentially a lethal problem, but we've managed to fix up the water, at least in this episode. And now I really got to take care of that stress. Could you guys come, like, you know, turn that off? Thank you. And by the way, over here, could you do the same thing and turn this off? Okay, excellent. So we had the refinery here, but before we do that, we took out this battery, right? So let's try to put that battery back in. Okay, and then the smart battery uses the normal wiring, except you use this automation panel and then you run this. And so when the battery's set up, we can decide at the level, and when it hits probably 40, it will fill up. And then it's not running what it connects to all the time. And it looks like I have enough for another one. So we'll deconstruct this one as well. Now the problem is that temporarily we're going to have power problems in the base. But they should be short-term as they build these. Automation panel. Okay. Now guys, I need you now to build these guys. And then we've built the metal refinery, and so we'll be able to process. We're already taking regular metal ores, we're grinding them, I guess, down into a more refined state, and then this will do it one more state further, which we'll need for the more complicated parts. We have an achievement. I'm pretty sure that's the automation achievement. Yes. And there's quite a bit of automation. You can do NOT gates, OR gates. There's a whole logic puzzle to the automation. So if you're familiar with that, it will help you out. And if you're not familiar with it, if you decide you really like to play this game, you'll become a little more familiar with it. It follows the same basic pattern that is in computer games and in computer programming. So there is some advantages there. I never connected my lights. Excellent. And you know, I really need to get somebody doing this art so that we can, I mean, our stress is still too high, but at least that's going the right way. So who's my artist decorating? Oh, no one, because my artist died. Okay, well, we'll just build for the moment. And we don't have enough for another batteries, but at least we got these two batteries done. We'll set this battery for a low threshold at I'll set it at 25, so when it goes down to 25 it'll start charging again, and we'll charge it up to 100, and we'll do the same thing on this battery, and this way we should have a little emergency power working. And then in here, we can't put the textile loom in yet. Okay. Eventually, we'll start to wrangle the critters up, but I think I need plastics in order to really do that. And then we'll get them into little ranches in certain areas. And that can be helpful too. All of the animals have an advantage of some sort. Most of them provide at least a small morale bonus. If you click on the pip, they give you a decor bonus, so apparently the duplicants really like them. I really like this morale too, so let's see if we can't do a quick build there. It looks like we have the sand here building a little bit of this. We just have nowhere to put the stuff right now, and our power is not the best right now. I kind of screwed the power up a little bit when I worked up here. It's backed up anyway. don't have enough lumber here. Well, somebody will get to it eventually. And this is good, so when I look at my morales, not there, here, I have some morale bonuses here for the barracks. I have a morale bonus for a hospital and a massage clinic, a washroom, 2 parks over here, the recreation room, this another park, and the barracks here, and a latrine. I'd like to change that. I think I'll probably do that now and go ahead. So our next deal will be, and that will get rid of these slicksters because I really don't want them there either. I always feel bad attacking the slicksters, but they have to go because they produce polluted oxygen, and then they're a big problem for my. I want them later, but I don't want them right now. Right now we'll barbecue them. We'll set this up for ice and snow. I'm not entirely sure if you put ice and snow in a storage bin and then it heats up, it actually comes out of here. But I don't think, this can't really hold liquids, so I'm thinking that that might work, but I don't actually know about that. It will be an experiment to see if that works or not. Could somebody come take care of this guy for me? No? You're just gonna let this poisonous critter roam around? Okay, well, my theory is that someday they'll get to it. We'll put in a new set of lavatories. And we'll put in a new set of sinks. And once that's built, I will hook the plumbing up in a mirror of what I've got going on up here. In fact, I can just, I think, come off of this one maybe, because I can run it over to here and back. And how is our oxygen looking? Oh, it's looking bad again. I mean, it never got great, but the stress got down at least. Okay, good. And I should have here a, oh yeah, because I got the barbecue going on. So up on my priorities, I'm going to take Turner. Now Turner's got to go on supply. Forget that. I'm going to put nails on a little bit of everything. I don't know. This might fill up. We might have to drop this tank again. We can do that if we must. I'm hoping that if these run less because of the batteries, that will help. We have a narcoleptic, which is too bad because I'd really like another one of these. I've played whole games where I don't get these, but we're going to stick with it, so we're going to take in Stinky. That's the other name of my cat. Sometimes he doesn't come to Chaos, but he'll come to Stinky. And he has only 2 morale here and not in the beginning. Well, that's not great. Okay, well, not my primary person I would have taken. But we do have a bed for him. We do have some bathrooms that are working. Somebody has real high morale, and that's why they are sparkling at the moment. And where they sparkle, other people's morale will go up, and that is excellent too. And as we dig down here, my plan is that we'll drop some of this carbon dioxide down here, and rather than move the base up, we'll just keep dropping the floors down. I don't know where this polluted water came from, but let's clean it up. My food is tons of it. I've been so focused on keeping good food because my colonies in the past have all died because of food production. But this vertical farm, I actually watched this vertical farm on a Joe Scott Answers with Joe, and he did a thing on farms. I think it was actually on maybe algae production. But I thought, well, you know, that should work for my oxygen not included. And I'm glad to say it did. So that was a good help. Maybe not what he intended for. And say I have little polluted oxygen things, so when this produces polluted oxygen, I don't exactly know how hydrogen got up in the base. It must be coming down where it's leaking, maybe? I don't think it can leak through rock exactly. I don't know where it came from. I also don't know why anybody would be starving. Go eat. Maybe they don't have enough time to eat. So let's try in the schedule. Well, that doesn't make any sense. This is bathroom and snacking. This is bathroom, shower, washing their hands. So I'm going to give them an extra block of downtime and see if that helps out with the eating and with the stress. We're doing good in water here, although it's hot water. I wonder if it's because we dug that out. Yeah, see, it's no longer cool here. Well, okay, I can work with that. Let's put a, oh, it's this water, isn't it? Oh, well, I can still work with it. Not as easy. Okay, we can do this. Let's take this. Let's take this one, actually, and let's deconstruct it. And then we'll put in that wort seed here. That's a food thing, right? Yes. We'll put the food there. And excellent. And then over here, we're going to grab one of these and put them up. Wonder what it uses for fertilization. Phosphorite. I'm not sure I have any. Let's see. Phosphorite is raw mineral? No. Consumable? I think it's a consumable, maybe. No, but we do have it. We got 2,000 kilograms of it, so we got tons. We're in good shape. And then as this becomes a chilly breath, hopefully it will start cooling this down. I'll have to be a little careful just because I have these pipes there, but it will cool these pipes down, because otherwise what's going to happen is the heat here, I think, is going to start wrecking my plumbing up here because of the way I have all my plumbing right in that area. So hopefully that will work. Guys, this is not looking good. Let's get that done, like, immediately. It's leaking right through the salt. I thought with 2 layers it would be okay, but it was not. Stages of this game sometimes feel less like base building and more like crises management. Thank you. But we're actually doing okay. I mean, we have really addressed our stress problems, so that's really good. And we have more food than we know what to do with. I hate to have it just rot, but at this moment, I don't know that we can take... Well, we can put in one more, I guess, here. We can put in another food refrigerator. We could put one right here. And put in power here. I've tried before where you put the food doesn't have to be in a refrigerator. It could be in something like, oh, say these carbon dioxide levels, because the germs can't live in it. But that never really worked as well for me. So we're going to not do that. I do have to get somebody with art, so we might have to start doing that skill, but but I don't know exactly what we're going to do with that. We'll see. We'll check it out when we get to it. I wish our power problems were a little bit better too. But we got these refertilized. We've got the stress better. And our oxygen is still really bad. So I don't exactly know what to do about the oxygen. We're gonna, oh, this is chlorine. Well, I still want to put in a little bit above that. It's chilly up here, but that's all right. we're going to put this ladder up, and we'll put a block there. Okay. What we're going to have to do next time, I think, is we're going to have to explore. I want to get further out to the corner because we have no idea how far this goes on it. I kind of think that this out here, one full screen, is the amount. We have no medicine either, which is, I got to work on that too. Actually, this base has a lot of problems to get fixed. But we're not dead yet, so that's a positive. I thought I did this plant before. I don't know. Maybe I did not. Maybe it died. I don't know. Oh, he's using his... I wasn't sure what was going on, but he's using that. The water loops seem to work out well for me, that you have water that it gets used and then returns to the source. That seems to work out pretty well. Oh, and we have this. So I guess with our time, what I'll do is I'll run another plumbing loop and then we'll be done. I don't know. I guess I could take from here for the sinks. I'm going to come down one and over for that sink. And then this will go into our polluted water, which is here. Which is here. Well, maybe not a totally crazy way like that. Be a little less crazy than that. But this will all be polluted water. And then we'll need a bridge going that way, and then we'll need this water from here. We can steal it. We'll come up over this. No. What we'll actually do is we'll go under that line. See, I was planning this to be that. I guess I can run this down. I think I can do that. Okay, let's try this. So we'll put our bridges in. We have one liquid bridge, which we'll put over here for the sort of clean water. And then we'll do it once more here. And then we'll do it once more here. And then we can put in our pipes here and here and here. Okay. And once they get all that done, which they'll probably won't do in this episode, so once we get this done, we'll have 2 bathrooms, I think 8 toilets with the double schedule that we have. Is pretty good. And rather than put in more toilets, what I'll probably do is put in, if we get to say 12 duplicants that actually manage to stay alive, then we'll just create a 3rd schedule, rather than trying to put in stacking a whole bunch of toilets. I'm really happy that she has such good morale. Not narcoleptic, so we have a choice between a slickster, which I keep killing, so let's get the Drecklet. Make that edible, and make sure we have that on our power grid, which we do. This has no power. Oh, because we don't have any wood up there. Did I do my harvesting? I think so. And we have somebody on farming. So not quite sure what's going on there. And then we had a trouble spot here with heat. But, well, actually, it's still a troublesome spot with heat. But I'm hoping that this thing will eventually work. Wouldn't be so bad if it was up here. We're just having some power issues now on top of everything else. Well, I don't know. But we do have the textile loom built now. I'll put that up. Just because we have power problems doesn't mean we can't attach more things that suck into power. We have people starving with 250,000 kilocalories of food, which is always a great thing. And let's build down here an exosuit station. And then we can set one. It's not happy with my pipes. Oh. Well. Okay. That should be there. And then we get this one. Oh, because we're still missing a little bit. They don't want to come down into the water. Well, I don't blame them. It's hot water. It's 56 degrees Celsius. I don't blame them for that. Well, eventually they'll get that done. They won't have any other jobs to do. So I think that's where we're going to end it at this one. We managed to limp along into the 8th hour of this. We're filling up a fridge. We're working on a heat thing. We're down to 1%. We started at 98 or 99% stress. We're down to 1% stress. And our art, because we ended up accidentally killing our artist, our art is, once we get that addressed, that will go down and even better. I mean, it's at 0 now, so it's not going to go down below that, but what it will do is keep that low stress. So other than our terrible oxygen situation, who knew that a game titled Oxygen Not Included would have problems with oxygen? So once we get that figured out, we'll be in better shape. And the problem that our oxygen is facing right now is a power issue. So we'll have to address the power issue in the next time. I'll see you next week. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. Otherwise, just give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, and I will talk to you next week.